Hello, welcome to News Central TV. I am Benga Aborowa. These are the top stories at this hour. Court declares Lakurawa sect terrorist organization proscribes group. President Tinubu mourns the passing of former FCT Minister Jeremiah Useni. Sudan Army paramilitary straight blames over oil refinery attack. We'll bring you the details shortly. We begin the news with security matters. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja has prescribed the Lakurawa sect, classifying it as a terrorist organization. The prescription order followed the ex parte application filed by the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. In a ruling, Justice Omotosho equally proscribed similar groups operating in Nigeria, especially in the northwest and north central regions of the country. The AGF, in an ex parte application, approached the court seeking 4 orders. An assistant director in the Federal Ministry of Justice, David Kaswe, moved the motion dated January 13th and filed on January the 14th by the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, MB Abubakar. Residents of several communities in Borno State have expressed grave concerns over the resurgence of violent attacks in their areas. The renewed wave of assaults carried out by insurgents has left dozens murdered and properties destroyed. News Central's Lakurawa completes the report.
The echoes of conflict gradually fading away in Nigeria's northeast state of Borno. Recent attacks in villages and towns of Bama, Chibok, Goza and Kuka local government areas is raising eyebrows.
I could recall in Angelang, the first attack that I was currently in Chibok around 12 midnight when they launched the attack. They destructed some stores and shops which they packed some farm product. And also after being packing all those sorts of farm product and food items, they burned and also killed a student, I think a JS3 student of a public school. I don't know whether this is being reported. Not only in Njelang, but also in Bomzir.
Places in Baga is also hit, and it's actually very, very bad. I believe our Nigerian army and Nigerian government has to do more. Yeah, even though they do a lot, they've done a lot so far, and state government have done a lot of things. They will be able to resettle a lot of people, but I think we have to put hands on deck and make sure that most of these things don't reoccur again.
Affected communities fear that without urgent and decisive action, the attacks could escalate further, threatening the fragile peace in the region.
With the help of the government and other NGO bodies, they can do better in order for every child in Borno State to fulfill his dreams and achieve his goals.
We have seen the communities that have been resettled are now living in peace, particularly the Ramakla, the Ita, Izge, Goshe, Kirawa, and Pulka. Are now living peacefully. The peace has been restored there. And again, His Excellency, he has already made the complement of resettling other peoples back to Agapalawa and Ashigashia, Chikde, Jogode, Gava, and others. So the issue of Chibok, government is doing a wonderful and gigantic job to see how peace can be restored. And I'm appealing to the concerned citizens of that particular communities to support the militaries, because militaries are doing well, and we are having problem with the communities, particularly the informers are the problem of the society.
Prioritizing timely information sharing, intelligence-driven operations, and strengthen armed forces presence in remote areas is said to be critical in addressing the scourge of the attacks.
I would like to challenge the telecommunication companies to stabilize the network in rural areas, precisely in the neighboring villages within Chibok community. Many attacks have been launched in these neighboring villages, which have not been passed across the state.
While Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, among other neighboring local government areas are safe and people go about their day-to-day activities, deliberate measures are needed to safeguard rural communities. In Maiduguri for News Central, Lakurawa.
The Nigeria Police Force says it has arrested 2 additional suspects linked to the kidnap of Folashade Odumosu, the wife of former Assistant Inspector General of Police Hakeem Odumosu, who was recently rescued from abductors. The force public relations officer, Olumiwa Dejobi, made this known in Abuja, saying that a total of 2,250,000 naira was also retrieved from the kidnappers, making an estimated ransom payment recovered to over 12.5 million naira.
I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty, but my seat goes for one consumption I use as the case may be. Now it's all right. Yes. That will be some family members. But my seat goes for 1 million naira consumption I use.
President Bola Tinubu has appointed the chairman of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, as the board chairman of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, FAN. Also appointed is the APC National Secretary, Senator Bashiru Ajibola, as the board chairman of the National Sugar Development Council. The special advisor to the president on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, announced the appointment in a statement on Friday. The president has also appointed a new managing director for the Nigeria Railway Corporation and a director general for the board of the National Technology Incubation. He said President Tinubu appointed former Deputy Governor of Kebbi State, Suleiman Argungu, as the chairman, Nigeria Bulk Electricity Trading Company. Similarly, former Senator representing Rivers Southeast, Magnus Abe, made the list as the chairman, National Agency for Great Green Wall. Let's also tell you that Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation has pledged to collaborate with the nation's Bureau of Public Procurement to entrench transparency and accountability in the public procurement process by ensuring the citizens are adequately informed. This was as the minister received the new Director General of the Bureau of Public Procurement in Abuja, where the both agreed to deepen collaboration and give citizens an opportunity to interrogate the nation's procurement process.
We must ensure accountability. We must be able to publish, tell where every contract is located, how much it is, who is the contractor, how long will it do it. And we're also saying that Nigerians should hold us accountable, ask questions, be able to ask, where is this thing not delayed? Why is this thing not done like this? We do not take offense when people make inquiry. How was this contract awarded? We are very glad to provide information.
We have to do this collaboration, and I'm glad that you have come. We'll continue to deepen that. We'll continue to ensure that all of us come together. While you are working to ensure efficiency in this procurement process, we are also working here to see that we give timely, efficient information and also helping people to understand what you're actually doing and what those who are working to award this contract so that we can have better infrastructure for our people are also doing.
The governor of Edo State, Monday Okpebholo, has assured residents of the state of his commitment to provide tangible projects to ensure the welfare of the people. The governor was speaking while on an inspection tour of road projects in the state. The governor, while inspecting the projects, including the flyover he recently flagged off in Benin City, the state capital, assured the people that contractors working on various road projects across the state have been ordered to speed up work before the rains set in. Residents of the state expressed appreciation to the governor for prioritizing the welfare in the short time he has assumed office as the governor of the state.
We are practical people, we are not MOU. And this is not OG. You can see yourself, work is ongoing. You know, this kind of job is not something that you just jump into it. They have to couple so many things, bring them here, and that's exactly what they are doing. You can see behind me the irons. In a few months, you see everything here is standing, and that's all. So what I've seen today, I'm satisfied that these people, they are capable and they can do it.
It's when enter here, it's when enter governor now, sir. He never even reach how many days now. He don't begin to work out the whole state. The place went not there good. The man is working fine. Not to say he go there for office, he go there sweep big grammar. You know, person not go even know what they do. So person, governor when they work, when they supervise, now that one I be governor.
It cannot become a reality that the governor of Edo State, Mondok Pevolo, Alasakokomisa, you can see his project seat. He has personally come to my street as well, HROH, Bako JP Street, to say that he wants to do it as well. I said, thank you, Mr. Governor. Thank you, because we never believed we will get what we are getting today in this area. Today we are happy, and tell people the community is happy. We know you are a performing man. We know you are testing when you were a senator. Now you are replicating again as a governor. Governor Akpakomisa, we say thank you.
The road was very terrible. We're suffering. We're in torture. We're really suffering here. Most of us here could not even get to our houses. If it rains for just 15 minutes, we will not even be able to go to our pass with the kids.
What's the story today?
My brother, it's a different story. As a matter of fact, I'm telling the world, the whole world, to know that we are in Benin City. Before I thought we were in, I don't even know the village to even call it. My own local village was better than this place. But to the glory of God now, our new governor has made us proud.
Watching News Central now, we're going to a quick break. When we return, President Tinubu mourns the passing of former FCT Minister, Lieutenant General Jeremiah Useni. We'll bring you details of this and more. You're welcome back. President Bola Tinubu has mourned the death of former Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, General Jeremiah Useni. Useni, a retired army officer, died on Thursday at the age of 82 after a protracted illness. In a statement on Friday, Tinubu described Useni as a man of courage and dedication who inspired younger officers to prioritize the nation's interest. The president extended condolences to the late general's family, friends, military colleagues and political associates, highlighting his contribution both as a soldier and a politician. Useni transitioned to politics after retiring from the military, where he was elected senator representing Plateau South Senatorial District in 2015 under the People's Democratic Party. And out to health matters, the Medical and Dental Consultants Association of Nigeria, MDCAN, has said that only 6,000 consultants are left in the country. President of the association, Mohammed, spoke during the association's National Executive Council meeting in Ilorin, Kwara State. Mohammed noted that as of February 2024, only about 6,000 consultants were left in the country. He said data also indicate that about 1,300 consultants left Nigeria in the last 5 years. According to him, the number will continue to dwindle as the retirement age for medical consultants is 60 years. The MDCAN president emphasized that the number of consultants would continue to reduce as long as the country produces only 1 to 2% per annum. Artificial intelligence, commonly known as AI, is reshaping the landscape of education globally, offering practical solutions to challenges faced by schools, teachers and students. In commemoration of 2025 International Day of Education, students and educators emphasize the role of AI addressing the issues by personalizing learning experiences and enabling teachers to teach more effectively. News Central's Omolola Ololade has more.
The emergence of artificial intelligence is transforming the world in ways we can never imagine. From healthcare to education, entertainment to research and innovation, AI is revolutionizing how we live, work and play. In Nigeria, many schools are leveraging the use of AI to reform the education sector, unlocking the full potential of students.
When I was studying for my mock exams, when subjects like math and basic electricity became so overwhelming for me, but with tools like ChatGPT, Quizlet, and TurboLearn.ai, I was able to take such difficult topics and turn them into more simpler concepts.
The use of AI can really enhance learning experiences due to the fact that they are wider than what human teachers can give to students. But human teachers can give emotional support and social skills and act as a mentor to students.
The future of AI is not just about technology, but about people and creating a world where AI serves humanity. Teachers therefore see AI as a support system to make work easier despite its challenges.
While some of them are enthusiastic about the fact that AI will solve most of their problems in a tailor-made way, some are also of the other opinion that AI is going to disturb their own psyche in terms of not exploring their own ways of sourcing this information themselves.
AI or technological tools might not be able to come to that point to determine this learner is not ready, is not emotionally, ready or socially ready to take whatever he's going to be taught. But the human teacher will be able to sense that, encourage them, counsel them, make them ready, and bring them to that point where they are open to receive whatever it is.
In Nigeria, where many classrooms are overcrowded, especially in underserved areas, teachers may struggle to cater to students' unique needs. Educators, however, emphasize inculcating artificial intelligence into the school's curriculum as it helps solve the problem of bridging the education gap in the country.
I'm aware of some initiatives trying to incorporate AI and robotics program into the school curriculum. But the effort isn't still as strong, is limited in some way. And then more needs to be done as regards AI being incorporated into the curriculum.
Artificial intelligence, including robotics and coding, are just some of the many ideas that have been reserved for the technically inclined adults. But exposing students in primary and secondary schools to this concept encourages them to improve their intellectual capacity in science and technology. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
To help make sense of all of this and shed more light, we are joined by the former Commissioner of Education in Lagos State, Honourable Folashade Adefisaya. A warm welcome to you, Madam, and thanks for joining us on the news.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Honourable Adefisaya, what are the key challenges Nigerian schools face in integrating AI into their curriculums, and how do you think these challenges can be overcome?
Thank you. That's a massive question. But the factors they face include access to digital technology, because they just aren't, it's still unaffordable for so many people, for the majority of the children in this country, majority of the schools in this country. So access to computers, to tablets, to other devices is just low. And then there's also data. Data is very expensive here. If you go to other places, I don't think it's this expensive at all. So it's very expensive to access data. Though I will say that there are some, especially the telcos, there are one or two of the telcos who are working hard at providing like an educational package so that children in schools can access a lower fee package for their children. So that's great. And some of them even have portals where they put a lot of materials which are curriculum accessible, which are in line with our curriculum. So I will say that the most important is that this inequitable access to the devices and the software and the data that will enable any child to be able to work on this material. Then again, there's a dearth of skills. Many of our teachers really do not understand AI yet. It's not, obviously, it's not in the teacher training curriculum, but even if it is not in the teacher training curriculum, there are some schools that are, actively using it. And if you talk to their teachers, they've all had to learn it themselves. So again, I think we have to work on our teachers to build more curiosity, more interest in seeing how they can work with AI. Many are afraid that it will take away their jobs. The way I look at it is, if you don't get involved with technology, you will not have a job after a while, because you'll just be an old-fashioned teacher who cannot cope with the reality of what is happening in the marketplace. So again, we have to work on our teachers, and then our curriculum itself. We have to work on our curriculum and ensure that there's room in it for other things. There's room in it for AI, for the use of AI, for robotics, like you said, for app development, for website development, for the whole gamut of what you do with digital literacy. So again, for me, I think there are so many things that we need to access. And I think it's doable and possible, especially with collaboration. Collaboration between the private sector, the public sector, between non-development partners. There are lots of initiatives, by the way. There are lots. Remember the teacher who said there are schools that are doing some of these things. There are lots of initiatives, but it hasn't permeated deep yet. And there are too many children who are out of this. It's too the access to it is just too inequitable.
And that,
to have effect.
That brings me to my next question, Honorable Adefisaya. You did mention in your submission that affordability and access to these digital tools and data, the cost of it might be a problem. In what ways, in what creative ways can the government, in partnership with the private sector, help to develop this AI skills, especially in public schools where a lot of these things aren't readily available?
Well, I think we've had examples in the past of private sector collaborating with government. People are often willing to, but they really don't know where to start or who to work with. So I think government just has to reach out and say, look, this is what we intend to do. We've revamped our curriculum. We've revamped teacher training. We need these devices for our children. We cannot access, and it's too expensive for us to invest. There's so many things that government is investing in. So this just hasn't come to the forefront. So if they work with the private sector, usually the private sector is willing. Don't forget that they take the products of our schools and they want these children to be well educated. They want them to understand how to hit the ground running when they get to the workplace and to cope with life generally around them. So they are usually willing. So I think there just has to be a partnership, collaboration with companies, with individuals, like I said, with NGOs. You remember during COVID, there were people, when it was found that even in Lagos State, there were children who didn't have devices, who didn't have even radio, 2,000 naira radios. We had all sorts of groups, church groups, mosques, and people, old students associations, companies, all sorts of people coming around. So I think if we're able to galvanize the public, and let them know why this is very, very key, then I think we should be able to build a collaboration that will work together to improve the education of the next generation. I think it's doable.
Very doable indeed, Honourable Adefisaya. We live in a very competitive world, and if you don't upskill yourselves with AI skills and technologies and just basically IT skills, you will sink if you don't swim, and you won't be able to compete in this global world. Having said that, what are the implications of the Ministry of Education in general, the country, of not updating the teachers' curriculum to include an AI mandate and also information technology in general?
Well, in general, I've always been a crusader for us improving the teacher training curriculum significantly. There's so much that is just not there. So you find that even apart from IT skills and so on, I don't think teachers do enough of understanding the learner, understanding how to have multiple strategies for teaching, for assessing that learning is taking place. And so all these things can be supported with AI, So I think the implication, like you said, is that we are going to be graduating children who are obsolete and who cannot function effectively in the workplace. Because the power of AI, you know what AI can do when you have things like personalized learning. So a child is able to, look at the young boy who said the teacher can't teach him everything, but he is able to go on to AI and learn a lot of things by himself. So when you are missing all that, you are, like you said, how will they compete in the workplace? How will they work with their peers in other countries? Increasing number of jobs are online, and that means it doesn't matter where you live. So if we are not careful, we don't want our students to be out of this kind of economy. So because that means when a job is open, anybody can apply for it anywhere in the world. So it's taking jobs away from societies where the students, where the populace is just not educated enough to cope with the realities of the workplace and taking them to other places. And I think if we're not careful, we start losing even all sorts of jobs, honestly, to other countries, just because our own students and teachers cannot teach the children to the level where they will be able to function effectively. I think it's a very, very key thing. It's almost existential in the way I look at it. And I hope other people are looking at it like that.
Thank you so much for your wonderful insights, Honourable Folashade Adefisayo, former Commissioner of Education, Lagos State. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay.
Lagos, Nigeria's bustling economic hub, residents are grappling with a sharp rise in market prices. Inflation has hit hard, affecting the cost of basic goods and services, leaving many households struggling to make ends meet. News Central's correspondent, Bettina Nweli, files this report.
Cost of living in Lagos, Nigeria has had a lot of people thinking twice. Sellers are complaining about the reduced number of buyers that they have, and buyers are also complaining about the inflation in the cost of prices of foodstuff. But we entered the streets of Lagos to ask people how they are faring and what they would like the government to do, and to also find out what is the root cause of this inflation when it comes to foodstuff. At local markets across the city, vendors and shoppers alike are voicing their frustrations. Prices of staples like rice, garri, and beans have seen a staggering increase over the past 3 months.
Though it varies, we have garri of 5,000 naira, we have of 3,000. Depends on your choice. It was actually 3,250. So, but as at now, we sell it for 5,000 naira. Sales has dropped drastically. It has dropped. Because even with the few people that buys now, we actually give credit to them because it's not easy. It's not easy anywhere right now.
Before, I would say carrots 200, 300. Now at the tights for 1,500. Because it's cause people no go complain to you. So people they crying. They tell say Nigeria beating cause. Because I say leave, you want only these beetroots, you know go spell. This one, if I put water, remains more time. If people no buy, you go spell them.
Wọ́n tó ń rà lọ́wọ́ wa náà bẹ́tà díẹ̀ ṣùgbọ́n èrò àwọn èèyàn ni wípé kọjá yẹn kó wálẹ̀ pátápátá sí bó ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ irú ìgbà tá a máa ra basket tomato ní 15,000, 12,000 èrò wọn nìyẹn pé kó wálẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀.
It's not funny. So I try to cope with my family. I have a wife, I have kids and all that, you know. But since things has gone high, you have to adjust your daily spendings so you'll be able to accommodate the other expenditure that will come in.
Everybody that adjusts now. You go chop first morning food around 12. Another one at night too. No 3 spare meal again.
Analysts point to several factors fueling inflation, including the effects of global supply chain disruptions.
And here in Nigeria, we also have not prepared or done enough to mitigate the shortage of food. And so while you have so much money in the hands of people, there is not enough food for them to buy. The rural areas must be made attractive. The quality of life in those areas must be improved so that our young ones will be attracted to farming, because farming is seen as a misfortune. It's seen as a punishment. We need to do a lot of things. The ideas are numerous, but Nigeria must pick among the many ideas that are available to it the best suited for our client. But food inflation must be stemmed.
As Lagosians continue to navigate these challenging times, the hope remains that targeted interventions will bring relief and stabilize the economy. In Lagos, for News Central, I'm Bettina Nweli.
Building a business in Nigeria is no small feat, especially for young entrepreneurs navigating the complexities of a challenging economy. In this report, News Central's Chinima Onab explores the life skills they gained on the job and how empowering the youth could be a game changer for Nigeria's economic growth.
Nigeria is home to a dynamic, youthful population eager to make an impact despite economic challenges such as limited infrastructure, high inflation, and access to funding. Yet, amidst these hurdles, many young entrepreneurs are finding ways to thrive, particularly in the fast-paced tech ecosystem.
To be an entrepreneur in this country is hard. If you can survive it in this country, you can win anywhere in the world, but you need to find inner happiness for yourself. The challenges can be very overwhelming sometimes. You need to be adaptable. But for me, on top of my head, how I survive is being happy.
From my experience, I would say, first of all, resilience. Resilience is very important to get anything done. We have different challenges that would try to compete or that would come up when you are trying to achieve something, especially in Nigeria, where we have different issues like electricity, getting access to the things you have to learn, getting access to people, very important. And the second one I would mention is networking. There is no way you want to scale up, there is no way you want to, get things done excellently. If you want to get yourself out there, you need to connect with people, you need to network, meet people that are better than you.
Beyond personal lessons, these entrepreneurs highlight the significance of youth empowerment as a crucial driver of economic transformation.
There's a lot of empowerment trainings ongoing, but one thing that's lacking is the ability to follow up, to follow it through, to see results, because, the goal of any empowerment program is actually to see results, is actually to change the growth of the people who have been beneficiaries. So basically, that follow-up is one thing. And then another thing I'll say is lack of adequate funding. So for a skill program, for an effective skill program to be carried out, it requires lots of funding, but unfortunately, there's no sufficient funding to facilitate that.
Till today, experts still argue that with over 60% of Nigeria's population being under 25, harnessing their creativity and entrepreneurial spirit can significantly reduce unemployment and strengthen the country's GDP. In a country brimming with potential, the stories of young entrepreneurs show that success isn't always defined by the environment, but by determination, resourcefulness, and the right opportunities. In Lagos, reporting for News Central, I am Chidima Ona.
You're watching News Central now. Coming up on the news, DR Congo soldiers advance towards front line in the Sake Hills as helicopter gunships fire rockets at M23 positions. We have details of this and more after the break. Join us again. You're welcome back. Sudan's largest oil refinery was engulfed in flames on Thursday, sending thick plumes of smoke over the city of Bari, as the country's warring army and paramilitary rapid support forces traded accusations over who was responsible for the inferno. The Al Jalil refinery, located about 70 kilometers north of the capital, Khartoum, is a crucial infrastructure in the conflict between the Sudanese armed forces and the rapid support forces. The RSF seized the facility shortly after the outbreak of hostilities, having previously been part of the refinery's security force. They later fortified the site, including laying landmines in the surrounding area to hinder the SAF's advance. In recent days, the army has intensified its attacks on the refinery, attempting to wrest control of the facility and the surrounding city of Al Jalil. Congolese soldiers in armed mourned vehicles are advancing towards the front line in the Sake Hills as helicopters, gunships fire rockets on M23 positions. The M23, backed by Rwanda, have been advancing in Goma, the eastern provincial capital of the Democratic Republic of Congo, just 20 kilometers away. Eyewitnesses described the intense fighting with crowds of onlookers watching the scene unfold The Congolese military is determined to halt the M23's progress, but the situation remains volatile. The conflict has already displaced thousands of people, with many more caught in the crossfire.
Tunaenda wapi? Hatuna fazi, hatujue. Leo 3 jours hatukulake na batoto, ona gizi batoto banafanana. Ona batoto tunateseka.
Tulikimbiaka tulishakosana na bandugu wetu, njo tuko hapa tukachungana nabo tuone kama batakuya waketu tuonane nao.
Munjia tunafika munjia tunakutana bombe ziko mingi, tunakutana masasi iko mingi, tunakosa kama tupite wapi, tunakosa kama tuende wapi na turudilie wapi. Juu ya nini? Ya vita. Na mizigo iko naoza na ndizi ziko naozea munjia ovyo.
Raia tuko nasikia M23 iko nazogea mbele, tunasikisha kamata sake, sie raia tuko na boga sana paske tuko mugoma, watoto wetu bako natembea, mumungini muko circulation, me tunayua kama bakekuya na basoda bako mungini, sie raia njo takuwa victime.
Still ahead on the news, United States lawmakers initiate bill to allow President Donald Trump a 3rd term. We'll bring you details of this and more after the break. Welcome back. Now, days into President Donald Trump's 2nd term in office, a Republican congressman wants the U.S. Constitution rewritten to allow Trump to remain in office after his term elapses. Representative Andy Ogley introduced a House joint resolution on Thursday to amend the country's founding document to allow a president to serve for up to, but not more than 3 terms. The proposed amendment specifically demanded that no person shall be elected to the office of the president more than 3 times, nor be elected to any additional term after being elected to 2 consecutive terms. Ogley argued that amending the 22nd Amendment would allow Trump to serve 3 terms so as to sustain what he termed the bold leadership, which he said the United States so desperately needs. Meanwhile, the President of the United States, Donald Trump, says his administration would appeal a federal judge's ruling that temporarily blocks his attempts to restrict birthright citizenship. A federal judge on Thursday put a temporary block on Trump's attempt to restrict birthright citizenship. The ruling imposes a 14-day stay on the enforcement of one of the most controversial executive orders Trump signed in the hours after he was sworn into office for a 2nd term. Trump told reporters his administration would appeal the ruling, while the Department of Justice said it will defend the executive order, which a spokesman said correctly interprets the United States Constitution. Birthright citizenship is enshrined in the U.S. Constitution under the 14th Amendment, which states that anyone born on U.S. soil is a citizen. In the meantime, the White House has announced the commencement of deportation flights with pictures of people boarding military aircraft already flooding the internet. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt made the announcement on Friday, saying President Trump was sending a strong and clear message to the entire world. It stated that everyone who had entered the United States of America would serve what she called severe consequences. In other words, to quote, President Trump is sending a strong and clear message to the entire world. If you illegally enter the United States of America, you will face severe consequences, end of quote. Ireland Business and Financial Reporting Council of Nigeria has indicated that the country has not reached a level of hyperinflation, which means there is no need to implement international accounting standards for the 2024 fiscal year. Rabiu Olowo, the FRC's Executive Secretary and CEO, emphasized that determining hyperinflation requires careful judgment and analysis of various economic indicators. After a thorough assessment, the FRC concluded that Nigeria does not currently satisfy the criteria for hyperinflation allowing standard financial reporting practices to continue. Earlier today on Business Edge, Olusegun Kwade, a chartered accountant and tax consultant, shared his perspective on why Nigeria is not classified as a hyperinflationary economy, despite the reality that some individuals struggle to afford daily meals.
I allude to the fact that the current inflation is beyond normal, and that's why I will refer that we have high inflation, but still maintain my position that it has not gone hyper. Whether we like it or not, there is still a few survival means for us Nigerians. I salute the resilience of an average Nigerian, and that's why we keep addressing some of the issues that we feel that government needs to address urgently to ease the burden. And number one of it is the level of insecurity, to make sure that we have available food for everybody to consume.
Mr. Taiwo Oyedele, chair of the Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reforms, predicts a sharp decline in Nigeria's inflation rate from 34.8% in 2024 to 15% in 2025, citing government reform and reduced inflationary pressures. Speaking at the PricewaterhouseCoopers and Business Day Executive Roundtable in Lagos, Oyedele attributed 2024's inflation spike to exchange rate volatility, subsidy removal, and high interest rates. He highlighted improving oil production, fiscal discipline, and reduced foreign exchange volatility as key factors for a positive outlook. Oyedele acknowledged the hardships of recent reforms, but emphasized the necessity of projecting economic recovery and a strengthened Naira in 2025. On sports, Nigeria's under-19 cricket team received a significant morale boost with the arrival of the National Sports Commission Director General Honorable Bukola Olopade at the ICC T20 Under-19 Cricket World Cup in Malaysia. Nigeria's first ever team at a Cricket World Cup made headlines with a stunning upset over New Zealand, sending shockwaves across the cricketing world. The DG's visit underscores the NSC's commitment to support all sports in the country for sustainable growth. Under the leadership of Malam Shehu Diko, the NSC aims to elevate lesser supported sports, with their team's historic performance already sparking excitement in Nigeria. The girls' achievements highlights the importance of strategic backing and fostering sports development nationwide. Super Falcons midfielder Ngozi Okobi has joined Canadian side Ottawa Rapids FC, marking a return to football after the birth of her first child. The 31-year-old brings extensive experience to her new club, having built an impressive career starting with Delta Queens, where she gained recognition for her midfield skills. In 2015, Okobi became the third Nigerian player to feature in the National Women's Soccer League, signing with Washington Spirit. A key figure for Nigeria, she has represented the national team across all levels from under-17 to the senior side. Okobi's move to Ottawa Rapids signals a new chapter in her career as she looks to make an impact in Canadian football following a brief break from the sport. Julian Nagelsmann has extended his contract as Germany coach until the end of Euro 2028, the German FA DFB announced on Friday. The decision follows Germany's encouraging performance on Nagelsmann at Euro 2024, where they reached the quarterfinals before losing to Spain. Appointed in 2023, initially on a short-term basis, Nagelsmann had already committed to leading the team through the 2026 World Cup. His extension solidifies plans for Euro 2028 tournament in Britain and Ireland. The 37-year-old Germany's second youngest men's coach took over after a challenging period, including early exits at the 2018 and 2022 World Cups. With Germany now in the Nations League knockout stage, the extension signals renewed confidence in Nagelsmann's vision for the national team's future. On tennis, defending champion Jannik Sinner advanced to the Australian Open final with a commanding 7-6, 7-2, 6-2, 6-2 win over Ben Shelton. The world number one will face Germany's Alexander Zverev, while who progressed after Novak Djokovic retired injured in their semi-final encounter. Sinner, on a 20-match winning streak, has been dominant over the past year, claiming his first major title on Rodlava Arena in 2023. Meanwhile, Zverev, the world number 2, is seeking his first Grand Slam title after 2 previous final losses. And that's all on the news at this hour. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines. Courts has declared Lakurawa sect terrorist organization and proscribed group. President Bola Tinubu mourns the passing of former FCT Minister Jeremiah Useni. We also told you that the Sudanese army and paramilitaries have traded blames over oil refinery attack. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, AVO TV, and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Benga Aboroa.